Boy, it is really easy to sort of get down on life and to be depressed by your struggles and overwhelmed by the problems that you face in life. And one of the best cures for that is just hearing about other people and the stuff that they go through just to live their life. Today's guest had to fight every major bank in his country to keep his accounts open and even had his wife kidnapped and ransomed. Let's get into it.
From Dallas, Texas, this is Anarchast.
Greetings, banksters. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome back to Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. Today's guest is the founder of the SmartPay platform and a speaker at the upcoming Anarchapulco event. I've also got it on a good tip from someone I trust that he is, quote, checking my notes. Oh, yes, gangster as fuck. Welcome to the show, Rocelo Lopes. How are you, sir?
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. It's going to be nice to talk and share a little bit of the things that I believe and the way I think we should use our freedom and our money.
Well, okay. So the first question I have to ask you, just to get started, because this is your first time on the show, welcome to Anarchast, is how, sir, did you become an anarchist?
Well, I'm always believed that the government should not control my life. The state should not be controlling anything that we actually believe. And when I saw the way Bitcoin works and the way the blockchain works, I says, oh, hold on a sec. I think this is the way for us. This is our freedom. Because what gives the government the control of our life? Money. When he not control my money anymore, he do not control my life anymore. So, and I'm always trying to fight that. Why the government should control? Why the state should tell me that I cannot build a house of 3 floors? Why is that? Why we cannot have the freedom to say, listen, I want my door pink. I want my floor in this way. I want my ceiling in that way. Why should they control that? Why the government should say, no, you cannot carry a gun? Why? Oh, but you guys can, and I cannot. You guys can do this, and I cannot. So it's not a time for the human being to say, like, that's it. Enough is enough. Now I will control my own life. I will build the house the way I want. I will drive the car what I want. And then why the hell do I have to pay this damn tax if I don't have to? So why not the society can do whatever they want and the way they want? And then, of course, they will pay for the consequence if they do something wrong. And who is responsible to say what is wrong and then what is right? And I always seeing those things. And it's amazing how day by day is coming more and more and more. And you see the government putting people to not learn, to not understand, and to not make their own decision. So then when I understood like 10 years ago about Bitcoin, and I saw like, yeah, this is was a big change for me. And it's a moment to say, all right, get the fuck out of my life, because from now on, I will control my own life.
So it was Bitcoin that made you start thinking about sort of freedom and liberty, or were you thinking about it before that?
No, it was Bitcoin, because I'm always thinking, I thought about it, but like, okay, the government control my money. The government control my life. The government control my ID. The government control my bank account. I cannot do anything without a damn bank account. I cannot do absolutely, if I don't have a passport, how am I going to leave the country? And it's always that. So the fundamental thing, it's always the money. We never had before Satoshi Nakamoto. And whoever tried before him, jail or shut up, disappear, don't do, right? We have that in history. What Satoshi Nakamoto did, he did the right way. And I start to believe, because who is Satoshi Nakamoto? All of us. So it's going to be hard to shut us down.
So when was the first time that you heard the term anarchist, or and then when was the first time in your life where you called yourself that? Because that's usually a pretty big moment for people, because there's a lot of like, you know, society misconceptions around that word, right? Anarchists are these Molotov cocktail throwing rioters that destroy things, right? So what was your journey with the word?
I think was in 2014 when I realized the potential of the blockchain and then the Bitcoin and the amount of people that was involved. I started to check about guys like Roger Ver, like Eric Volz, and all those guys. So I start to follow them, and I start to realize, even Jeff, I start to see what he was doing, and a lot of other guys like, hold on a second, and those guys, they are not wrong. So I think my turnkey was in 2014 when I really realized, well, I got involved in Bitcoin in beginning of 2013, but I really realized the whole thing 2014. That was the moment for me to understand that I could start to think in a different way.
Who is your number one influencer towards this way of looking at the world called anarchy? Was it Roger Ver, Jeff, or who was it?
Definitely, no, Roger, yeah. definitely. I follow him. I saw that he's traveling the world and telling people about Bitcoin, fighting the government. He was the guy that for me is like, okay. And I met him a couple of times. I went to Japan to talk to him in Tokyo. There when I went the first time on Anarchapulco. Mm-hmm. So he was the guy that I started to follow, and then after him, Eric and a bunch of other guys that have a little bit of the way that I think today.
I'm making a note right now. I have yet to interview him on this show. I need to get Roger Ver on here for sure. I want to get an update on everything that he's been up to. This is the first time that I've heard from a lot of people like who influenced them, who did they learn about politics and anarchy from. This is the first time I've heard Roger Ver, so that's to his credit. And he should be very proud of that. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. So, you got into crypto and freedom and liberty. And, how did that lead you to coming into conflict with, your government and your banks? Like, what was the story there? What happened?
Well, the first thing is like, when I got involved with Bitcoin in 2013, one of our clients, I was working at a telecom company, with a voice over IP, and our company was specialized in cryptography. So our phone calls was cryptography. So I was always passionate about that, because I think also our information should be always cryptography, and I own my own data. I own my own information, right? Supposed to be that way. Unfortunately, it's not, right? Facebook and all those bullshit guys. So then when I realized what it was, I started to, okay, how do I sell this? How do I buy this? So then, okay, cool, I need to open a bank account. And I was trying to bring people, say, guys, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. This is the future. And then the banks start to close my bank accounts. The government closed my bank account. And then I says, okay, is giving the reason that you're closing my bank account. I want to know the reason. And normally it was like, yeah, because the business that you are is not regulated, but that is not illegal. It's not illegal. So if it's not illegal, why I cannot do it? So, but the difference was all the other guys they were doing, I think they are not doing it in the proper way. What I started to do was very simple and very smart. Let's say you have 6 big banks in Brazil, okay? And I sued every single one of them and I won the case. I have the 6 big banks in Brazil.
Okay.
Right? So then the guy from the Orange Bank, when he says, I want to buy Bitcoin, okay, then transfer to my bank account on the same Orange Bank. The guy that want to buy Bitcoin from the Red Bank, I got a bank account on the Red Bank. So the Red Bank knew the client that was transferring money to my bank account, and he also knew me. So if you know both of them, why I cannot receive from your own client? So why are you closing my bank account? Because if you come to me and say, well, it's because you don't know the nature of your business, of course you do. You came to my company, you went to my office, you know who I am, you know who's transferring money to me, right? So, and then when I have to transfer money to someone else, same situation applies. So if I have to transfer money to someone that is, I have to buy Bitcoin from him, all right, great. So they're going to transfer to the bank, the Red Bank, to the Blue Bank. Tell me where you have an account and I'm going to transfer. So, but let's say I need money on the Blue Bank, but I don't have money on the Blue Bank because all the money is on the Red Bank. So then I transfer from the Red to myself on the Blue. So both of them, they know me to me. Then inside the Blue Bank, I was transferring to them. When the banks came to me and says, well, you're doing this. So, okay. So then I prove that I was not doing a single transaction out of their knowledge. Mm. And then I present that to the government. So that's it. It was easy to beat all them. It was very simple and easy.
You were selling Bitcoin? So the people were giving you money?
Buying.
Oh, okay. And they didn't like that or thought it was shady or something, and so they started closing your accounts because you were transferring money to other people in exchange for Bitcoin.
Yes, they thought that was illegal, or they tried to say shady, and then of course was very in the beginning, and then a lot of let's say magazines in Brazil when they want to talk about that, so they always call me. And also, I was mining Bitcoin in Paraguay. So I think was one of the largest mining farm in South America. So I was generating Bitcoin. So then I need to sell those Bitcoins that I was mining. So then I was selling, buying, doing all that. And of course, they said, like, this is something shady. Going to close our bank account. So then they start to close the bank account. So now, no. And then one day I was invited to a meeting in Brasilia, which is our capital here in Brazil. I was invited to a meeting with the central bank and our, let's say, money laundering department. I went there with a T-shirt, and the T-shirt was, right, fuck the banks. So the guy from the central bank says, we are trying to help you. Can you help yourself? Sorry, man, was my only clean T-shirt. You know, sorry about that. They didn't like they didn't like that, I can tell. But listen. Okay, let's fight then. So I took that very serious, and I won the case against every single one. One of the banks here.
So they close your account for no illegal reason. Are the banks private banks, or are they government banks in Brazil? I don't know how it works there.
Both okay. Of them. The biggest ones, like the 4 big ones, they are private, and then the other 2 big ones belong to the government. Even that one, they close on bank account, which is against the Constitution. It says, listen, a public company need to serve the public. If you're not giving a bank account, meaning you're not serving me, that means it's against our law, it's against the Constitution. So come on, that was really, really simple to beat all them. And then one of them,
you sued the government banks for violating the Constitution, and you sued the private banks for what, like violating the terms of the contract or something for the account?
Yes. Okay. Exactly. Because the private banks, they do a public service. Even if they are private, but they do a public service. And they cannot refuse to do the service, because in our law here is saying, if you have the product and someone is willing to buy and have the money to buy, and there is nothing illegal, by law, you have to do the job. By law, you have to give the service. So read the law.
What was it? You said there was a funny one. Yeah.
The funny one was, I sued one of the banks here, right? So then was a penalty that they have to pay me, damage and all that. So then I says, all right, whatever has to be paid will be donated to 3 institutions. I don't want the money for any damage that happens, because I read something in our law that's saying if the damage, the money they have to pay, is way too much to even change my way of life, or to make me richer than what I am right now, cannot be. So there is something in the law that's saying, if let's say the damage is too much, they were not going to pay because the law says they cannot do it. But the money is not coming to me. The money for the damage is going to a non-profitable institution. So then when they try to pull that off, to say, well, this $1.2 million, it's too much, and this and that is going to him, it's way too much money for him. And then my attorney says, well, but it's not for him. It's for 3 institutions that actually needs the money. So then they still today fighting to not pay them 1.2 million.
Really? Okay. What were the nonprofits?
Really?
Like some kind of charity or something?
Yes, it's for 2 kids, and one for old guys, for old people, like elderlies that don't have house to live and things like that.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you all 6 banks, you had to sue all 6, and you won all 6.
Yeah. Yes.
Round of applause, everyone. that is a rare story. I've never heard that before. That's crazy. So that leads us into like a terrifying story. So I didn't know about this until literally right before the interview. You told me. I don't even know what to say or what to ask, really, but like, what happened with your wife?
Yeah, well, on 2017, I was all over the place here in Brazil. Everybody that talk about cryptocurrency would invite me to live TV, to newspaper, magazines, and all that. So everywhere, talking about cryptocurrency, especially mining, they always invite me. So then, of course, everything happening, and I think I talk too much as well, right? So I should not say that I had that amount of Bitcoins, or I should not say that I have that amount of money or that kind of life. But well, Brazil, it's not that safe. So, and then because of that, some guys, they decide to kidnap my wife. And this is something like even like really was way too much. They rent the house in front of my house. In total was 16 people involved, all right? So they rent the house in front of my house, and they there for 9 months, living there and watching us for 9 months, trying to find the perfect way, the perfect moment to get her. They tried to do it with my son, but they knew it. My son was always with bodyguard or on a school and this. So, and then was difficult to kidnap him. But my wife, she was a kind of easy target because she was going to the gym, taking the girl to the school, and my daughter's school is like 50 meters from my house. So it was a kind of easy. So those guys was investigating us for 9 months. So then one day was around the 25th of April. My wife was getting my daughter to school, dropped my daughter in school. As she was walking home, like I said, 50 meters away from the school, she was walking home. 3 guys stopped her, put her in the car. I live in an island in south of Brazil called Florianópolis. And then they put her in the car, drove her all the way to São Paulo. As they get in São Paulo, which is about 1,000 kilometers from Florianópolis, where I live, was they getting in São Paulo, they called me and they says, listen, we have your wife, and you better be prepared to pay like a crazy amount in Bitcoin. It was something around $50 million on that time. Okay, so then so I hung up the phone because I saw, come on, this is someone trying to be lucky,
dude. Was this a cartel or something, or just private people?
Private people. So then I phoned home, I called the home, and then I asked the maid, like, what is Renata? She said, well, she's not coming back. She didn't came back. Oh, what do you mean she didn't came back? That was like 5 hours ago. Where is she now? She said, no. And then I called the school. So then the guys at school says, yeah, we saw something funny happening. Let's have a look in the camera. So then I accessed the cameras because my camera at home could see a little bit of the street. I accessed the camera at home, and then I saw the moment that they took her. Same thing, the guys in the school told me the same thing. So first thing that I did, straight to the police. And then the guys were saying, like, you do not go to the police, because if you do, we have people watching. So I did a way to get in the police, talk with them, and then we started negotiation. It was all the time to explain them that, okay, tell me, okay, let's talk, let me talk to her. Then I spoke with her. She says, please pay them, because I don't know what can happen with me. So I said, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. So then when I asked them, like, okay, guys, can you guys give me the wallet so then I can at least, we can start to see how we do it. But listen, I do not have that amount of money. That you guys are crazy if you think I do, because I do not have that amount of money. So then the guy says, like, well, you mine Bitcoin, so you be buying a Bitcoin since 2014, so you probably have this amount of Bitcoin. We want this amount of money. Says, don't forget about it. We don't. So then I said, like, send me your wallet of Bitcoin, so then I can transfer a little bit for you guys to see that I'm serious. And then they change automatically. Says, no, we don't want in Bitcoin. We want in Monero and Zcash, because we trace the
so
wallets,
they weren't
right?
idiots.
So,
okay, all right.
Yeah. They're not idiots. So then, of course, at that moment, I called Zoco from Zcash, and then I called the guys from Monero, and I explained to them what was happening. And the guy said, well, listen, if you need to do something, we're going to help you the way we can. Don't worry, we're here to help you. And then I have to explain to the police, because imagine 2017, here in Brazil, cryptocurrency, what is this Bitcoin? Nobody knew it. I think the police didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, they mostly still don't. But yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. So I had to explain to every single one. And on that week was my daughter's birthday. So father-in-law was in my house, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law. All my family was here for my daughter's birthday. And my wife and me, gone. Because I went to the police station. They says, you're going to stay here. You're not going home. Because if you go home, bad. And then the police says, someone from your family could be involved. So get away from home. And then, so, okay, cool. I rent a whole floor in a hotel near to the police station. And we kind of been working from there. So the police was working for there. I was explaining to them what Bitcoin was, cryptocurrency, Monero, and Zcash. And then when I told them, guys, if this thing actually, if they do take the money, if that becomes successful, tomorrow is going to be everyone being kidnapped, the businessman, and that's it. This has to fail. That cannot happen. So then we start to work with them, and then became a moment, to be honest, like I was already, in my mind, it was like, she's already dead, because I was asking to speak with her. I was asking, please, let me talk to my wife. Let me talk with my wife. Let me talk to my wife. And they said, no, until you pay, you're not going to speak with her. So then I did the most stupid move in history. It's like, was really stupid what I did, worked, but was stupid. Today, I says, like, I was playing with my wife's life, and I should not do that, but I did. I told the guy, or either you let me to speak with my wife today, or I go to the biggest network TV in Brazil, and I will pay the $50 million to kill every single one that you have. I'm gonna kill your daughter. I'm gonna kill your dog.
I thought you said it was bad.
The fucking fish. No.
Wait, this should not be on YouTube.
Yeah,
but no, go ahead.
That's what I did. So that's exactly. So then it's gonna be like that. So the guy from the police is like, "Are you fucking mad? You cannot do that." So hung up the phone. I hung up the phone and turned off. So was then 6 hours later, I turned on the phone again. Then they made the mistake. They phoned from a public phone from the street that where she was. The police traced the call, and then they could find her. But was very risky. Very, very, very risky. That is not something I tell people today, but on that day, I guys, listen, I spent probably 5 hours crying on the toilet, right? So I was there on the bathroom crying. I could not eat. I could not sleep. Was horrible. Was a huge mistake. It worked, but could not. Was lucky. Then they found her on the house, on a street in São Paulo, and she was okay. They never did anything with her. So, and then after all that, right? So it was 4 days. The whole thing took 4 days. Okay. So then on the 29th of April, when they got her, was that day is my daughter's birthday. Okay. So then on the 1st of May is a Labor Day here in Brazil. So was a long weekend holiday. No flights back to Florianopolis. So she could not come back home on that day because there was no flight available. And it's 12 hours by car, which is, forget about it, right? So, and the only thing that my wife told me is do me a favor. Today is my daughter's birthday. And I need to be there. And I told and then I phoned my secretary and says, listen, I don't care how much it's going to cost an airplane. I want my wife here before midnight. And then we got she got a private plane and then brought her home. She got home in Floripa I think was 11:30 at night. And then I remember today, my daughter asked my wife, says Mom, what do you guys bring for me from São Paulo? It's my birthday today. And my wife, she's like, me, baby, that I am the gift, because that was the gift, right? So then, of course, then we told the family, then trust me, man. I mean, every time I have to tell this story, it's hard, but I mean, it was okay. She was fine. And then she did the whole thing during few weeks, but that was a moment that, I mean, honestly, it's It's hard to tell, but I tell people we made it. And I learned one thing: do not talk too much. Do not tell that you have Bitcoin. Do not tell the amount of Bitcoins that you have. You can say, yes, I have a little bit of Bitcoin. But today our life is like bodyguard 24/7, bulletproof cars. My daughter goes to school with 2 bodyguards. My young one, same thing. My son, same thing. That was those 4 days of my life. It was the bad moments for cryptocurrency in my life. But here's one thing that I want to every single one understand. After that, I remembered the chief of police or the guy from here, in Florianopolis, asked me like, are you okay with cryptocurrency not having regulation after what happened with your wife? My
Very
answer
good
to
question.
him, yes. Every single day. The government should not be involved in cryptocurrency, and I agree in the way the cryptocurrency is. It's not the cryptocurrency that is bad. Bad is the people that want to use it in a bad way. So yes, I will keep fighting against the government to be in control of this thing for the rest of my life, because it's not the cryptocurrency that's bad. Bad is the people. And I told the guy, and let me tell one thing, the reason this happened with my wife is because you did not do your job properly. Because if you did, my wife would be safe at home. Because when you guys say the government should control, no, the government should provide us security. And if you fail to provide us security, let us do ourselves. So I will keep fighting. The government should never be involved with cryptocurrency. And then guess what I got from all that scene? The government sued me and asked me to pay tax, 2.18 million reais, which is about $600,000.
For what?
Because they start to investigate in my life. And by the way, I was not Brazilian resident because I was working in Paraguay on the mining farm, okay? So my tax residence actually was in Paraguay. So they did an investigation in my life because it's like, how the hell those guys asked him to pay $50 million on ransom for his wife, and he never paid tax in Brazil? Well, maybe because I never was a Brazilian resident, right? So that's why. And then they said that because my life was as a resident, then they send me a bill to pay with like $600,000. Is not that cool? And they asked the guy,
So the cops failed to do their job. They failed to keep your family safe. They under their watch that they will not allow you to form your own police. Right? The best you can do is private security. They will attack and cage you if you do compete and try and make your own police. So they prevent you from being able to have a private solution to this stuff. Your wife gets kidnapped. They don't do, as far as I can tell from your story, correct me if I'm wrong, they did all of jack and shit to actually to catch her or save her or to find her. It was you basically threatening them that tripped them up into giving themselves away, and the cops went and picked her up after you made that choice. And then after all that was over, after all their failures and fuck-ups, they prosecute you, the victim, in the situation. Like, is there no more quintessential story of government and how it always functions than that mess? Holy crap, man.
Yeah. 600,000, that's the penalty that they gave me. Well, and as I told them, well, I do not have a bank account, a personal, right? So then good luck in getting the money. And
dude,
I'm not going to give you.
They did the same thing as the kidnappers. They said, give us money or we'll cage you. We'll take you away and put you in a... Oh my God. They protected you from one set of kidnappers to threaten to do the same thing. I always say, dude, government is just a competing cartel. They are a competing gang. And that is it. That's what they did. They don't like other gangs.
Yeah, they don't like competition. They don't like, and even I asked the guy from the tax department here. Let me ask a question. If I did pay that, could I get a discount? Right? Maybe they could give me a discount, right? So, but in the end, maybe sometimes if you're thinking about between $50 million and $600,000, I think I'm gonna pay the $600,000 cheaper, right? But come on, really,
it's the discount cartel. You know, you get exactly 95% off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm fighting till and then this the penalty, right, that I need to pay is still on here on the court, and I'm still fighting. If I lose and I do not pay, they actually can cancel my passport, my Brazilian passport. Well, then it's gonna be hard for them to cancel my South African, and maybe it's gonna be hard for them to cancel my Paraguayan passport too. Yeah, good fucking luck.
Where do you live? Where do you live now? Where do you work?
Well, now in Brazil, I'm still have a way to fight, and I'm going to be fighting. I like Brazil, but in case some shit happen, well, I'm going to give a call. Hey, Roger, tell me what is the best place in the world to get a passport. Then I'll go there.
Nice. Are you coming to Anarchapulco in person, or are you doing a remote talk?
No, yes. No, I was going to be there. Well, it was a long time. I went there in 2017, right? So I will love to go there again, and this time is going to be amazing, especially after, a long time with a lot of problems and working and try to do a lot of things. But now I can go back there. It's going to be nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing you and shaking your hand, and
Sure.
it's going to be fun hanging out there at the event. Guys, if you don't have tickets to come to the event, you can still get them. Coupon code Anarchast. You can get a little bit of a discount. Much less of a discount than the Brazilian government discounted on their extortion fees. I think it's 10% instead of 95. But it's not a cartel. So, oh man. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'm stunned. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. I'm so glad that your family is safe.
Yeah.
And there's some important lessons to be learned there about how you carry yourself, what you talk about in public, and again, government's role in our lives. Okay, so you're speaking at Anarchapulco. What is your talk about?
Well, I'm going to talk about financial freedom and how to actually give an opportunity to people that is not included on the financial system. Unfortunately, we live in a society today that we need to buy stuff, we need to pay for the stuff. But unfortunately, the capitalism and all this things between big corporations, big banks, always involved with the government. That looks like a big damn cartel. So then, like for example, in Brazil, 34 million people does not have access to the financial system, right? So then, 34 million.
Don't have when you say don't have access to the financial system, do you mean like a normal bank account?
No, they don't have a bank account. They don't have a card. They paper,
Okay.
Piece of paper in hand. And then their wallet is, let's say they put the money on like a shoebox and they get robbed because they don't have that access to the bank. And we create a way to connect cryptocurrencies, to connect the blockchain with the bank chain and allow these people to be able to pay for anything in Brazil. Brazil now has a financial system called PIX. It's made by the central bank here in Brazil. The actual CEO of the Brazilian central bank is a little bit more libertarian than the other ones. So the guy kind of like blockchain, he kind of like DeFi, he kind of guy that like that. But this guy is leaving on the 2024, so I have to take the opportunity right now to build solution that can connect the blockchain system with the bank chain system, so that will allow people to actually have access, or any foreigner. That's like, for example, if you come to Brazil, as long as you have a Tether wallet, a USDT wallet, and which you control the private key, always you control the private key, you are able to pay anything in Brazil, anyone in Brazil, with Tether right now. As long as you have USDT in your wallet, if they accept PIX, which is our financial system, 95% of all the stores here in Brazil, it's around 11 million business in Brazil, they accept PIX. Every single one of them, you can pay with USDT, because we create the bridge that will convert USDT within 5 seconds straight in reais. So the store don't have to accept cryptocurrency. I'm not changing anything. What I did was I built on top of the actual financial system. Basically, I took them very serious. Like guys, like some guys, they say like Bitcoin is a cancer. Yeah, all right, great. Yes, it's a cancer. You are correct. So that we're going to start to get involved on the actual financial system, and you're going to take over. Yeah, you're right. So basically what I did was that I built a solution on top of the actual financial system, which make it possible to someone that has a Tether wallet to be able to pay a coffee, to pay if you want to go to Copacabana, Rio de Janeiro, to the carnival. Okay, come, more than welcome to come. So you can pay caipirinhas, you can pay everything that you want, a coconut water on the beach, and you can pay with Tether. But some people say, well, but Tether is not decentralized. Tether is a private company behind. Yeah, you're right. So get your Bitcoins. If you're going to spend, let's say, $200 on that day in the beach, convert only your $200 worth in Bitcoin in Tether, and there you go. You're still in control, the whole thing. You're not taking any risk at all. So that's exactly what we did here in Brazil. And this way to do that allowed people to do. And then most important part, in case people want to withdraw money on the ATM machine, there is a big corporation here in Brazil called TechBan, and they own 24,000 ATM machines in the entire Brazil. So those machines, normal ATM machines that you use to withdraw money on a daily basis. We connect Tether, USDT, straight on that system. So let's say in case the place do not accept Pix, which is very rare, and then you want physical cash, okay, go ahead. Go find an ATM machine from Banco 24 Horas. There we go. You transfer money, and then you get the reais right there. And then now, starting in March, we're going to do the other way around. So we'll be able to deposit money and get out with Tether. So basically, we're going to convert shit money and cryptocurrency. Simple.
It sounds like you've made Brazil ahead of the rest of the world, a lot of the rest of the world, by doing this in terms of cryptocurrency adoption. How's it going? Are people actually using it a lot, a little? How's it going?
Oh, it's, around 600 transactions per day. So, and then we're not doing any advertising. So it's kind of good because we are building, we are building a new wallet. And this wallet, again, private key, always with the user, never with us. And then with the wallet that we're doing, so then it's going to be a big announcement. So then we're going to go crazy. I'm talking with Tether. I'm talking with the guys from Bitfinex. Then we're going to go crazy on that one because we are building the wallet.
I remember recently during one of the crypto falls that one of the stable coins lost their peg to the dollar. Was that USDT or was that something else?
No, it was not USDT. It was something else. And okay. But here's one thing. Well, but let's clarify because also was a comment that USDT Tether also lost the pair with the dollar. But
okay.
Inside Bitfinex, which is the company kind of behind Tether, they never lost the pair. What happened was few exchanges in Asia, they were trading Tether not on the blockchain, official blockchain from Tether, which is 13 blockchains. Okay, Tether runs in 13 blockchains, except BSC, except the yellow exchange color. Okay, so the USDT that is running on that blockchain is not managed by Tether, has nothing to do with Tether. They call that is a peg to the USDT, meaning the yellow exchange should have, I don't know, 5 billion in USDT on Ethereum, I don't know, maybe 2 billion on Tron. They should have the peg for the amount of tokens that they issue on the market. But looks like people decided to sell that thing because the FTX case, they decided to sell at any price, then lost a little bit of the peg. But there is no way to see which big blockchain actually that lost the pair because all the exchange, they only report to the websites that to see the volume, they only report USDT. They don't say USDT on Tron, they don't say USDT on Ethereum, they say USDT. So basically that's what happened, but it happened for what? Maybe not even 2 hours, everything goes back again and goes. But there is another stable coin such as USDD and the UST, they lost the pair and it was higher and they never came back. But Tether, they still there, and Bitfinex, they always guaranteed inside their exchange the one-to-one.
Okay.
And by the way, I do not work for Bitfinex. I do not work for Tether. I don't have to say anything in behalf of them, but I analyze the market every day, and I'm building a solution. I'm building things that I need to choose the best one is in the market. And then, well, Tether USDT is like 20 times more than the second one. So I have to go with the best one.
All right, man. Well, they told me that you were gangster as fuck, and I gotta say they were right. Your story is crazy. I'm glad that you're okay. It was a absolute pleasure talking with you. I'll give you the last word. Is there anything you'd like to say to let people know?
For sure. That is one thing that I always tell people. Listen, we have a very good opportunity. We have a cryptocurrency. We have a new financial system that we are in control. We are in control of our own money, meaning this is the first time that we do have the opportunity to do that. So what do you need to do now? Start to learn. Go to this conference. Go to Acapulco to see what's happening there. Go to talk with guys like us that can see in a different way. And most of people, they always say like, well, man, yeah, I have so many questions, but all the questions, they are so stupid. Let the question to be stupid, not the stupid one that never asked the question. So come to this conference, come to learn and get your wallet, download and ask all the questions. How do I get my first Bitcoin? How do I get my first Satoshi? Do it now, because when you control your financial life, you realize that no one can control your life.
Awesome. Rocello, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to hanging out with you in Acapulco. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out in chat. It was a pleasure reading your comments. The Odysee chat has been active, but they don't have an integration with what I use for the screen, so you don't get to see all the fun Odysee comments. Tomorrow we have Danny Sessom. It's going to be another interesting talk there for sure. The day after that, Sam Pilbeam. Day after that, Andrew Kaufman. And then I think we got a lot more next week too. So we're having a very busy month here on Anarchast. Thanks for hanging out. I want to give a special thank you to the supporters of the channel. We have a producer working behind the scenes to organize all this, to schedule all this, to collect everybody's details and information that we need to make these interviews as good as they are. And the support that you guys provide basically goes straight to him. So if you'd like to support the channel, this channel and the other channel that we do with philosophy, you can find that at disenthrall.me/support. There's a link for that in the description. All right, that's it. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Rocello, man, I'm looking forward to hanging out. All right.
Sure thing. All right.
Thanks, everybody. Peace, love, and anarchy.